Courts Physio channel. Today we're doing another training tip. So today's training tip basically is about speed. So the speed in the motion of doing a rep on an exercise. So obviously, this is dependent on what your goals are. So if your goal is more about building muscle, then obviously there's a certain way of going about things. If your goal is sport and the sport involves speed, then obviously there's another way of going about things. So if we take hypertrophy first, so if you want to build muscle, then obviously the first thing you've got to know is you've got to build all the muscle. So that means the type 1s and the type 2A and 2B fibers. So obviously this means that yes, type 2 fibers definitely do get more hypertrophy. They tend to be, research shows you can do high rep range work, you can do like the lighter load, and that does bring about hypertrophy because of course that's going to target your type 1 fibers, the slow twitch fibers. So you do need to do that type of work. Now the research also says that you do get better results with hypertrophy with the type 2 A and B fibers, so obviously they're your fast twitch fibers. Now the research also highlights that if you do faster motion with a heavier load, but obviously you've got to have it under control, then basically that recruits more type 2 fibers. So clearly that shows if hypertrophy is your aim, you do need to do fast work. Now there is a dilemma with doing fast work. I mean, one, it's got to be under control and you don't want to be out of control, you could risk injury. Two is momentum and inertia. So if you think about it, if you're starting a bicep curl as an example, if you drive out of that bicep curl from the beginning, then obviously at the start, yes, you're lifting the load, but remembering gravity, if it's obviously a dumbbell curl, then the gravity at the base is not that heavy. So you're able to generate a lot of momentum from the start with not a lot of load. Then the swing occurs from the arm movement if you're doing it fast, which means that realistically, you're not getting a lot of bicep work all the way through the range. And then lo and behold, at the top, gravity is coming straight down again, and if you're at the top, gravity is going this way. So you could even say triceps is working to decelerate the motion, but certainly gravity is aiding that process. So in one sense, even though fast work will recruit more, you've got to think, is it going to recruit more? Because am I under load throughout the range of motion? So the issue there is, it's fast, yes, but like you say, to initiate it doesn't take a lot of force, and then the momentum swings it the rest of the way, and like I say, the bicep's not working that hard. So you've got to think, how can I get around this issue? So obviously gravity is one of the things, so obviously you can set it up on a pulley, and then the pulley can give you a bit more of a different angle, and then create that tension through the range. But you still always have that issue. If you go fast on the concentric contraction, then clearly you're going to have the issue of effectively not having the muscle working through the full range of motion. So the way around this, of course, is that you want to perhaps do concentric fast and then eccentric slow. So obviously then you definitely have all the muscle working all the way through the range of motion. Obviously the same can be applied to a squat or any other exercise as well. So yeah, so for hypertrophy, you do want to do fast movements but under control. You've got to be aware of gravity, you've got to be aware of inertia and momentum. Like you say, if you're going really fast, you're actually not going to be loading throughout the whole range, and therefore you've got to make sure the negative, the eccentric load on the way down is slowed down and controlled. And that's what everyone obviously says as well, and there is therefore research behind this. So moving away from that, into sport. So obviously with sport, if your sport requires power and speed, then obviously your training is going to require power and speed. So obviously with power and speed, you need to have to move quickly. The proviso is though, really, is that you've got to make sure that that motion is relevant to your sport. So there's no point doing bicep curls really fast if you're going to be doing something that involves working the legs. So if you're a footballer, say, who needs to sprint. So, I mean, it's obvious really, but you do want to be targeting the faster twitch fibers. There is not huge point if you're doing a sport which is like, say, a powerlifter, which is obviously purely power work and there's not really any endurance component particularly. And obviously, yeah, you just want to target the type 1s, the type 2s, sorry. And the type 2s, obviously, a fast twitch is all you need to utilise. So in that case, yeah, if you're working, a squat or whatever, then yes, you want to probably still decelerate the eccentric, but really drive out. Now, you could say, but it's not working the muscle all the way through the range because of inertia and momentum. Well, that's very true, but it doesn't matter, because if that's how you're going to move in the sport, then that's how you need to train for the sport. remember in swimming, Mark Foster, I think it was, got in trouble once when he was a bit older in his career, and it's because he moved away out of the camp for the British squad because he felt like the training wasn't specific to him. He was a sprinter, and training was a bit, varied really, because obviously had to cater to everyone's needs, which sounds ridiculous really, and he was right. So he took himself away, and his race probably about 20 seconds long. So he would just do a lot of weights in the gym, which involved power work, so really fast motion under obviously relatively heavy load, and then in the pool maybe 3 times a week and absolutely hammering it. So like everything was race pace, 20 seconds on under distances, and obviously the age he was at, considering the age he was at, he was actually doing pretty good times. I think if he'd have trained that way when he was younger, if he'd have known about these things, it would have been even better. And you see this within athletics as well. You wouldn't get Usain Bolt just doing 400 meters, 800 meters, and so on, because again, that isn't the type of muscle he's going to be utilising in the race. It is absolute type 2Bs probably with him. So he needs to be doing very anaerobic, very short burst, very fast motion. And you see this in their training. They do sort of Olympic style lifting. So going forwards then, really, you want to train for hypertrophy as a summary. You want to be doing both types of work, because you do need to train the type 2s and the type 1s, because you want the entire muscle to grow. So you do want to get the maximum out of both. So clearly going slow on the negative and fast on the positive, on the concentric, is a good way to get the type 2s, the fast twitch, and get them developing. Obviously there is a limitation that bear in mind, that you've got to control the load. So if you're doing it a bit slower, you can probably lift heavier. So you probably need to do that as well. And then on the flip side, you do want to do some high rep range work as well, because obviously you want them type 1s to grow and stimulate growth there too. And like I say, in the sport, it depends on the sport. So you've got to look at it. Is the sport involving endurance and speed and strength, or is it just speed and strength? And then you've got to train accordingly to that. So yeah, hopefully that covers that area for you. Like I say, there's a lot more to it, but that kind of covers it in rough summary. So yeah, hopefully that was interesting. And if you want more content like this, then just comment below, comment on any of the social media, and yeah, we can obviously do anything you're looking into. So basically that's it for today then. So yeah, so remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time for another training tip. Cheers.